Hey, what's happening? Look, I'm doing a video today. I got a crack outside here. I'm sitting on the floor. Anyway, I got a lot of questions about how to use this stuff. This is the stuff I use to fill a hole in a garage. And I had that video previously. But I've got a lot of questions on, exactly how to use the stuff. So I decided today I was going to get down on the ground here. I got this crack here, as you can see, pretty wide crack that I want to repair. This stuff is really good for repairing cracks. It's good for holes, but it's better for cracks. If you saw my video on filling the crack with concrete or stucco, I went back and checked it out, and that didn't work out too good. It's already falling apart, and I'm going to have to redo it. But I'm going to choose this stuff to redo it. Quickrete. It's a vinyl concrete patcher. Alright, and it comes with a bucket. So you're just going to open the bucket, and I suggest that it comes in a plastic bag. I suggest that you mix this stuff in small increments and get the feel for it. It's a lot better in case you run into a problem. You're not wasting a whole bucket of stuff. So what I do, and just to give you a heads up, the tools I'll be using, use a trowel. I prefer this square trowel. You can use any one of these trowels. Okay. I usually have a putty knife available in case if I run into a situation, it would be better to level it with this. But mostly I use this. And what I do, I usually have a couple buckets of water. I got a small bucket here, and I got a large bucket. And also, I've got a texture sponge. Okay, this is a regular sponge you get at Home Depot, but it has like a textured plastic on one side. That's going to give you some of the texture marks on the crack, because you want to try and make the crack, invisible, and put some of the texture in it so it kind of has the same rhythm as the concrete. So what I'm going to do, pour some of this in. Like I said, just do it in small increments at first and get a feel for it, and then if you feel confident, then go more and more and more. Mix in the water. Always have a couple buckets here. Mix it up with the trowel. I'm going to put too much water in, so I'll dump some out. I just want to be able to show you here what I do. You want to have it like the consistency of oatmeal, so you keep on mixing it. You can have it pretty thin. I'm just going to pour it into the crack and then wait for it to rest for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll go back with a wet sponge and sponge over to try and get the texture involved in it. But I want to do this little spot right here. Make sure you mix it. You don't want any lumps in it. This stuff sets up pretty quick. So you want to make sure you have enough water in it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it into the cracks. Now you can keep your bucket and wash it out. It's a pretty nice bucket to use for other concrete adventures. Then you're going to take your trowel and you're going to trowel it in. Try to keep it as close to the crack. You don't want to get a bunch of excess concrete on your regular finished part. Then you're going to draw this into the crack. This stuff sets up pretty quick, so you want to get it moving. Once I have the concrete in there, I'm going to dip my sponge in the water, get it a little wet, not real wet, and then you're just going to rub over top of the crack. Rub all the excess on the side of the crack into the crack. Then you want to take your sponge and just go over the crack and try to blend everything in. Now what's happening here is the concrete is settling in, so I may have to do another layer. But I basically have the crack filled up and got some of the texture by using the sponge. This is definitely going to have a little layer on top, but that won't be a big deal. It could settle in, so you may find that you may have to go over and put another layer on. This stuff is made, to stick together and stick to the concrete. So even if you have a real thin layer,